welcome to first of many. This is our new thing we're trying out on our page. If you watched our squad pods, this is our squad pod quick hits, where we recap some of the things that happened in the last 24 to 48 hours. I am Boss Grande, and my co-host is.
And Paul, what's going on?
All right, so let's get it started with some stuff that's been in the news just recently. I guess it's kind of gossipy, but anyways, recently, MrBeast, FaZe Clan, and Jeffree Star, who are all multi-million-dollar YouTubers, in their companies that they owned, MrBeast LLC, and I guess all the other LLCs they had received PPP loans, recently. So. PPP loans was meant to be for small businesses during COVID. So, according to the article based on the Insider, the Paycheck Protection Program loans and disclosed by Small Business Administration showed that MrBeast YouTube LLC and Jeffree Star Cosmetics. Jeffree Star Cosmetics is already like $1 million industry or whatever. Each received a loan of $350,000 to $1 million. The esports company FaZe Clan, whatever, also received a loan worth $1 million to $2 million. Yeah. So MrBeast is on the record saying, he does the charitable giveaways, right? Like God's plan, but a lot of people think that it's his money, but it's really just like the sponsors and stuff's money. So there's saying that he claimed he had 40 employees, but it really showed he only had 7. Yeah. So like they say it's a clerical error, but this is a. Go ahead.
7 to 40? That's how you make that type of mistake. Like 7 to maybe 10 is a mistake. Right. 7 to 40,
yeah,
that's not a mistake.
Right. But maybe he's thinking, the way it's said in the article on Insider is that he was saying that his partners and whoever the people he worked with are considered that, and because of COVID, everyone is like no longer employed anymore. So of course when they submit, but if that was the case, then why didn't you submit correctly? And I feel like in this time period it's really grifting season, because if you want to do some grifty stuff, man, get your grift on. And I don't condone it, but man, everybody's getting over. What's your take?
Really, so I wouldn't have a problem with this if the small businesses that actually needed this stuff was getting it, right? If this saves if it saves jobs at the company, I wouldn't have a problem with it. The issue that I have with it is that most people who got the PPP loan were people who had like connections or had they didn't basically the banks prioritized their good customers, the customers they felt like would be the best or most profitable for the bank to give the PPP loan to.
Right.
But if you were a small business who actually needed it and you were doing everything on your own and you banked at the bare minimum, but you were still making sure your margins was good and everything like that, if the bank didn't find it was beneficial for them to give you more money or make sure that you had the PPP loan, you didn't get it. But all these people who was connected, they got it. And if you're doing stuff like this, as far as like you don't get confused on 7 to 40. And then 2, you're supposed to have a team, like you have a finance group, or you have a finance department, or you have people who take care of your finances, right? Or a person. They should know, because this was in the news. Hell, I knew a lot about the PPP loan. They should know who's considered an employee, who's considered an independent contractor, who's considered, like who's considered being laid off versus somebody who's considered being like completely terminated, and all that kind of stuff like that.
Right.
And I just don't see a mistake from 7 to 40. That just sounds crazy.
Right. And like these people have been doing this way too long. Like even when how like movie stars are still having their like like going to jail for tax evasion and shit like that. Like, dog, everybody.
Right, exactly.
Right. So here's another thing from the article is that the CEO of FaZe Clan was which is valued at $240 million in November last year, told Mashable that loan allowed the company to retain all its employees and it intended to repay it in full.
So if it met the criteria and is like literally proven that they didn't lie or forge any documents, right?
Right.
Or like if it's, then it's illegal. And in that sense, it's okay. Is it right that if they could have survived without it and they took it out just to have extra cushion, that makes logical sense. I get it.
Right.
But the money needs to go to those people who actually needs it, the people who not going to survive without it, right?
Right.
We're not here to cushion you from like not making good decisions with like your money or whatever it may be. We're here to make sure that you don't fall because of something that you can't you couldn't predict or like set up for, right? So you got these small companies who is basically living off the margins, and then you have someone who they just wanted a little extra.
Yeah.
Nah, but I don't know, right? If they did really save these jobs and all that kind of stuff like that. So, but everybody know with the PPP loan is that if you follow the rules and the guidelines, then you didn't have to pay it back. So him saying that he fully intended to pay it back, I don't know if that's him admitting that he wasn't like really going by the guidelines, or just saying that because if you don't go by the guidelines, which is not 100% sure that everybody's gonna go by guidelines, that you got to pay it back. I don't know, but most people understand that you get it as long as you do what you're supposed to do according to the guidelines, you don't pay it back.
Right. And I feel like things like this really show, like, you know, it's the revealing of the Wizard of Oz effect, you know, like how are you really doing all this charitable stuff, and like, not to knock what he's doing, great, but are you like how are you running as a company, you know, where you need to take, if you're valued at $240 million, you know, and $1 million is going to keep your place afloat, then are you really worth $240 million? You know, and same thing with like Jeffree Star, you know, like your cosmetic lines. If you're showing that you have like a closet full of Birkin bags and all this other stuff, then what are you really doing? Like, you're a small business, but your like makeup and stuff that he sells, it doesn't require a store, you know, just like his MrBeast charitable things don't require a storefront. You know, I can understand if like you're doing the editing and stuff like that, you're paying your team. I get that, you know, like you said, if they're following the rules, yes. But a lot of the things that you're doing, you know, how hard is it to hand out
transition?
Yeah, how hard is it to do charity work? You know, because churches do, well, not, let me not say churches. You know, you know, me and you, both Masons. You know, we would get the stuff, and we didn't have a big crew. You know, we didn't have a lot of money, but we just got it together and did it. We didn't get no loans like that. But if this is your brand, for all of these people who are taking these loans out, not just these 3 individuals or these 3 companies in general, all these other people who are like grifting the system, allegedly. If your brand is this, then what is your infrastructure to where you cannot survive something like this? You know, that's just how I feel about that. And it's just odd, and see what's going to happen with it. But then again, you know, people are coming to their defense because, you know, they need it because this X, Y, and Z. But, you know, like I said before, this is really pulling the curtain back on how stuff is done. And are people really built for this COVID time period?
And so one thing, like, I definitely want to make sure I mentioned is that corporations are not people. Corporations only responsibilities, and even LLC,
right?
Because they don't have shareholders, right? The only thing that they are there to do is make money, or like some benefit from increase in the bottom line. They don't care about anything else. He can do charity events and all that kind of stuff like that. But if it start affecting the bottom line, the charity events gonna stop.
Exactly.
That's just what's gonna happen,
Yeah.
right? But with that being said, we have to expect that corporations are gonna do everything in their power to make money.
Exactly.
If that is the case, we need to ensure that we have enough rules and regulations in place for the people who these corporations in today's world rule over, because honestly, they really do, right? They're like mini governments.
Yeah.
Who they rule over to make sure that the people still are taken care of. Because in this sense, if he really needed, if they really need it, I got it. It makes sense. Make sure it's proportional, make sure and all that kind of stuff like that. And I get it. Money had to be pushed out real quick. We identified that on the back end. We pushed it out to everybody. Boom. Identify on the back end. Did they deserve it? Did they really need it? How much did they actually really need? Take it, whatever they didn't need back. Let them know up front, hey, we identified that you only needed X, Y, and Z. We gave you A, B, and C. We're gonna take back from you M, N, and O. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And give them that time to, okay, you have to pay this back. You got certain time, all that kind of stuff like that. And that wiggle room, because that may put them in a bind too. But you just don't, no. If you, like, it frustrates me because we know small businesses that actually needed it, that had to close up shops, that had to like literally like lay off family members in small towns because they weren't able to get this loan that these people who learn how to finagle the system were able to get.
Speak the legalese, because like the words in like contracts are very vague, and if I know to skirt the system, oh, it wasn't me that took the money, it was my LLC, and that kind of gets you around that, and that's where the phrasing has gone. And I feel like it's a cop out, but if you're about that, then be about that, or just say, look, most people now are apologizing. I'll give it back, but you've already gotten caught. You know what I mean? So
that's the only reason they give it back, because they got caught. If they didn't get caught, like that damn steakhouse, when you didn't get caught, you wouldn't give it back. Let's just be honest, right? Yeah. Which is understandable.
Right.
But it's also understandable that you're a douche. You know what I mean? Like you're a dirtbag. Right. And don't expect people, don't be mad and call it cancel culture when people be like, you know what, I'm not going to deal with you, because guess what? People decide. The same thing having a friend. If you say somebody's your friend, you have a friend, and your friend do something really jacked up, like freaking try to roofie somebody.
Right.
You correct them. You like call them out. They be like, oh no, man, that's not what I was doing. That's not what I was doing. What you mean? And you be like, yeah, I'm never gonna like chill out with this guy no more. Like I'm like done. Not friends. Not, hey, how you doing? No, done. Right? It's not canceling you. That is associating myself with people that I want to reflect my values.
Right, like, a deal breaker, which we will discuss on Sunday's episode of The Lie. All right. So moving on from that, AMD was quiet during the whole NVIDIA presentation, and then I do believe it was yesterday, they put out not one, but two teasers. Join us on October 8th and October 28th to learn more about big things on the horizon for PC gaming. So, 10/8/2020 is going to showcase the Zen 3 processors, and the RDNA 2 will be showcased on 10/28 of whatever they're going to do. One moment. Go. Okay, so what are your thoughts about what AMD is going to do?
I'm hopeful that they can like come in this space and be a competitor. I do not believe they're going to be able to compete with NVIDIA, but they're already smashing Intel kind of right now.
Right.
So I would like to see what they kind of have going on, and what. Oh shit! What's up, man? I'm a break right there, huh?
Go ahead. Go.
Yeah. So as far as AMD, I think it's one. really far out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really far, but it just feels so far because Nvidia just dropped theirs, and then you want the news, you want it now. Like I want everything right now.
Right.
But I want to see what they have to offer, just to see where they're gonna hit, right? What price point they're gonna hit, and what actual improvements they're gonna have. They've been smashing Intel this current sprint, and Intel seems not to have an answer. They say they may have an answer coming up, but right now they don't have an answer. So just
Are they going to have an affordable answer?
that is a good question, right? Because yeah, you can have an answer. The same thing with Xbox and PlayStation. PlayStation 5 could be the answer, but if it's $700, I don't even want the question. You know what I mean?
Keep it back to AMD. We're gonna get to that in just a second.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yes. So what my expectations for AMD is, I've been an AMD guy my whole life. What I want is for them to make something that is on par with 380. I feel like no one's going to try to go at 390 because that is for I feel like that's a niche market. That's for the person, the whales. You know what I mean? Like who needs all that from a certain standpoint, because we don't know, there hasn't been any tests yet. And then especially now in this time COVID, like how do we know benchmarking testing, how good are they going to be? With that being said, I feel like it's going to be a stalemate almost if they bring something on par with the 380. And I feel like that's where they're going to be. And that the 370, 380, they're going to either slide in the middle or be slightly as good for a good price. As far as any specs going, I haven't seen anything go out. But the 8th is only, oh shit, it's a month away.
Yeah.
But what's also crazy is how they slid in during the whole Nvidia's launch table. So in 2 weeks, 390 drops. Then I believe a week after that, the 380 and the 370 drop. So in that time frame between now and October, all of those are dropping. So then now this puts people on pause because one, pre-orders aren't going up for Nvidia's graphics card from what I'm seeing. So it's going to be get in as you get in where you can fit in. But now people are going to hit the pause button and see, well, shit, what are they going to show at the end of the month? Because RDNA is, hold on. RDNA is, yeah, it's the end of the month. Like, yo, like, it's strategic, but it's also the week before stuff drops. Anything else you want to say on the AMD? What are your expectations? Do you think it's going to be a win or?
I don't normally see them hit the 380 market with a good offering. They normally hit like the 370 market with a good offering, a really compelling offering. But so we didn't expect them to hit Intel as hard. And because of that, and because of how hard they hit, I kind of like I'm pulling back my reservations. I mean, I'm pulling back my
expectations.
Excuse me, because I'm kind of thinking like if they can hit that hard when you're not expecting them for Intel, they probably can hit Nvidia pretty hard. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if they just trying to right now, as long as they can eat up some market share and get people to actually look at them a second time,
right?
They probably can come in.
Okay. And like to our final point on this quick hit episode, Xbox, Microsoft came out swinging the MFing hammer this week. So earlier this week, they dropped first it was leaked. First it was leaked in the morning that the Xbox Series Series S, which is small, 60% smaller than the Xbox Series X, for $299. So then later on the day, they doubled back and said it's true. All Xbox outlets, all Twitter outlets said, yes, it's true. Also, the Xbox Series X is $499. And they said,
Yes.
then they doubled back with some more stuff. They were like, y'all eating? Let me feed you some more. And they said, pre-order start September 22nd.
Bruh.
And then, maybe like 2 hours later, I don't know, I was checking Twitter because it was blowing up. They said, hey, Game Pass. The tweet was, they tweeted out to EA, hey, you guys want to give us your games? And now, with coming soon, Game Pass Ultimate for PC and Xbox will include EA Play. Not Pro, but still, EA Play is still a huge catalog of games for $14.99. Thoughts? Go.
No additional cost to current Game Pass Ultimate users. Like, this is going to, the package that Xbox and Microsoft is building, you're starting to see why they were not as worried about PlayStation as everybody was like, no, you need to be worried about PlayStation because PlayStation came out with the bangers, with the games like it was nobody's business. The first party games was like it, right? But Xbox, what I think their strategy is, and I have no idea because they don't talk about it to us. But what I think their strategy is, I'm gonna give you this offering, this package, this bundle, right? That this cheap version that you can go pick up and it won't hurt you as much, right? For $300. Or you can do the layaway little system that they have, the rent system that they have, and it's almost like the phone plans on with your cell phone provider, right? Having that, I don't think PlayStation said that's having it. I don't think they said they're coming out with anything like that. I don't think they did. Did they say they? No, right?
No.
So
no.
Like,
the only thing that's been said thus far is like GameStop will let you pay it off, and I know certain WalMarts at this time start the layaway system or plans. But like other than Walmart, GameStop, maybe Best Buy. I don't know what Best Buy is doing for their trade-ins, but I know when Xbox 360 was twilighting into the Xbox One, they were accepting trade-ins for really good deals.
But these companies have already been doing this. You always been able to do a layaway program, right? The fact that it's actually coming from the manufacturer, like, and not only with that, is like you pay for the service and the subscription service, which is the Game Pass Ultimate thing, whatever, and you add the cost of the device onto that, and you pay it off monthly. And after so many months is yours, bro. Why you think iPhone did so well? Like, why do you think Samsung does so well? People not buying $1,200, $1,300 phones outright. No, they put them on these subscription plans. That is going to eat. When parents see this, it may not be you or me, right? Who like, man, fuck that, or whatever it may be. I got this money, I'm just gonna pay for it. I have it right out. I don't have it. I have the freedom to do what I want. No, when these parents go out to do these holiday shopping and they see that they offer these type of programs, the same programs they use for these super expensive phones. That's 2 to 3 times as much as these devices going to cost. They'll be like, oh yeah, that's nothing. I can do that. And just, bro,
what's $25 a month if you already have your stuff together, but let's get into some of the specs. Xbox Series S and X drop on the same day. All right, so they both run with AMD Zen 2 CPU, 3.6 gigahertz. RDNA 2 GPUs. The only difference is S has 4 teraflops, X has 12. All right, RAM on the S is 10 gigabytes. 16 on the X. Now, 1440p at 60 FPS for the S, 4K at 60 frames per second. Both of these are saying they will get their respective resolution to 120 frames per second. Now, I know a lot of people. Let's not confuse cost less to like not being as valuable as that, because 1440p on a console is 60 frames per second, when most people aren't really concerned about that. They're, like I said, it's the niche market. It's kind of like the 390. 60 frames per second, 1440p is really good for $399, considering
Yes.
you know what you would have to do on the PC side to get that with everything. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Would you say something?
No, yeah, I was saying yes, because just trying to get any type of gaming PC that can do 1440p at 120 hertz, like that's definitely gonna run you more than 300. And
Right.
on top of that, the simple fact that you can do the layaway system, man.
Yeah.
What is that, bro?
Okay.
Yeah.
So storage wise, 512 gigabytes solid state drive on the S, 1 terabyte solid state drive. Both are expandable with 1 terabyte, but it's in house, so it's probably going to be expensive. We haven't heard anything about any third party.
That is super expensive. The prices came out for the terabytes, the expandable storage. I think it's like 1 terabyte for like $200 some, something like that. I'm like, bro, like I've been buying 1 terabyte for like $50. Like
Right.
I got an SSD, I got an SSD, 2 terabyte SSD, M.2 for like $400, $300, something like that, right?
Right.
This is not like that's gonna hurt.
It's gonna hurt.
That's gonna hurt.
Right. So S is digital only, which is not bad if you're not. I mean, yeah. Because you can get, but X comes with a 4K UHD Blu-ray player, which is another good deal. $299 for the S, $499 for the X. Now compare that to the PlayStation 5. Oh wait. Okay.
Sorry.
It's all good. Compare that to the PlayStation 5. It is half as, if you want to say this, the S is half as good as the PS5 without a price now, but the Series X is a little bit better than the PS5 on paper. Now, as far as game-wise goes, it's whatever you tickles your fancy, but
yeah.
One thing that wins it out for me, no fanboyism on this podcast, but backwards compatibility. The Series X is compatible with Xbox 360, and Xbox One, which adds to the already bigger catalog or backlog or whatever games that you have, which is amazing. PlayStation 5 is saying that it's going to be backwards compatible to PS4 under certain titles.
I think the issue with that is more along the lines that one, the digital version of the PlayStation, the PlayStation all digital, that should be backward. That should be able to download any of those games from any of the Sony ecosystem. I don't care if it's PSP, and you should be able to play it. Like that would be a feature that'll be that's crazy. That'd be amazing, right? Being all digital, I don't see it as an issue, because basically that's what all computers are now. No one's going to GameStop to buy a PC game anymore. Right.
Put that long ass CD key in. If you miss it, then you're fucked. Yeah, nobody's doing that anymore. You know, and I got it, so now I own it, you know. And it used to be for me like a convenience thing, but now, like even with movies anywhere, I'm going all digital, man, because ain't nobody once a disc gets scratched, man, game over, dog. And what are you gonna do with the, you know, when you sell it back? What are you gonna get? $2, $1.50? No, man, just buy that movie for $4.99 or whatever, and have it in your collection for as long as these services go.
The one thing I don't like about the whole all digital thing is literally like the fact that the company still, you basically pay to not rent the game. It's like you pay, I forgot how it goes, what it's called, but basically the game is not yours. So if you decide to I don't know, leave one day, you can't pick this game up and you can't take it, it's not yours, it's still theirs, right? If you have an Xbox account and all your stuff is digital and you break some terms and conditions or something like that, and they ban your Xbox account, all your game's gone.
All of it's gone.
What is that? Absolutely unacceptable. I pay for it, it's mine, right? Like I can't go recreate it, got it. Like I can't go in there, like if you catch me like hacking or something like that, then all right, whatever, right? But if I pay for it, it is mine. I get nothing past that if I don't pay for more. But if I pay for it, it should be mine. That's the only issue I have with digital. But yeah, other than that, spot on.
Okay, let's final thoughts before we get out of here. I'll give you the final word. Now, my final question for you: PlayStation 5 or Xbox S right now? What are you choosing?
Ooh. I would choose PlayStation 5.
Okay.
Only because my disposable income is a little bit higher than who I think the Xbox S is targeting.
Right.
And also, most of the games that's going to come out on Xbox, I have Game Pass, and I have a PC, very powerful PC that I spend a lot of money on. I can run almost all that stuff, right?
Right.
Now, those are my options, right?
Right.
We're not talking about the all digital. We're talking about the regular disc one, right?
Right. Regular disc one.
Yeah. And then
if
that'll give me the ability
your money
to have
wasn't
the
an option,
exclusives.
if money was an option and you were budget friendly, what would you choose or what would you recommend?
What you mean?
What would you recommend? Like if you were budget conscious, or like you're like, my price point for this
Xbox.
is 700.
Xbox. You can get so much more for that $700 out of the Xbox than you could out of the PlayStation 5. One main thing for me is that when you get the Xbox Series S, then you still have a lot of games that you actually can play on day one. And the way Xbox is setting it up, if you have it on Xbox One right now, when you get the Xbox One, when you get the Xbox Series X, yes, thank you, right? You can still your account will still have those games you download on your console, and you still can play, right?
Right.
You get the PlayStation, you're trying to buy new PlayStation games that they talking about going to $70, right? And if nothing's dropping that's good enough right now, then or if it is, you only have 1 or 2 games. So I say Xbox if you thinking about a budget, right? But if you just big ball and you got money to spend, you got money to blow, you can do what you want to do, go PlayStation. Like that means you got a powerful enough PC to play almost everything that you want from Xbox.
I agree. And with that, we will end our episode of Quick Hits. Once again, I'm Boss Grande of the Gentleman Squad, and my co-host is
and Powell, baby.
All right, we'll see y'all.